You're good.
No, I don't know what
All right, cool.
Mr. Munguia, what is this, turkey? Chicken? Oh, turkey? Okay.
3, 2.
Give me a,
Steven Cureño.
give me a roast beef, Hal, or turkey. Or both.
All right, 3, 2.
Open it up.
Steven Cureño, K-Word of Sports, right here with Barry Hunter. That was a pretty neat little moment right now. You and Munguia's coach kind of, asked him to save you a sandwich. That was pretty cool.
He turned me on to the food, man, so we might be friends after this one.
That's cool, man. Talk about that, the community of boxing. It's so small, you know what I mean? And you guys have been coming up since amateur days kind of knowing each other.
Yes, sir. It's a small community, and I had the pleasure of working with a lot of guys that, they made it. You know what I mean? The Virgil Hunters, the Nazim Richardson, Mike Stafford, Kenny Porters, just to name a few. And Calvin, that's right, Calvin Ford. Calvin wasn't in that class, wasn't in that same class that we were in at the time. He came after.
Oh, okay.
But yes, Calvin Ford, with so many of them, man. Gary Russell Sr., all these dudes, man, was on that battlefield banging and slanging together.
Yeah, man. Demetrius Ballard was, I'm sure, one of those kids coming up. You were telling me earlier, man, he came up with the cream of the crop of that time, the Olympians, Spence, all those guys. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, once he made the national team, like I said, I know him since he was a little kid from the area. And he struggled, coming through because, at the time he came through, you had a lot of these young fellas that had a lot of experience. They had already been to the national several times, won the national several times. So he came up hard, you know what I mean? And once he got with Bernard Roach, God rest his soul, it turned this whole thing around. And he ended up being, one of the best fighters. Ended up making the national team. Like we were speaking earlier, he was in the class with Errol. He was in the class with Caleb Plant, Joseph Diaz, Jose Ramirez, Rashid Warren was there, there was so many of them kids that you see, young men, Marcus Brown, Jesse Hart. There's so many of them guys that you're seeing on TV now, that he was in the same class they were in.
And now it's his time, and he's facing Jaime Munguia. They're both undefeated. I was talking to Demetrius earlier. What's it like? I asked him, I want to ask you as a coach, what's it like, going into the lines then, right? Going into like the other person's hometown, like the fans are going to be rabid for their guy, and you have to be the one to take the crown from the king in his kingdom.
You have to, and just, that's right. You're 100% right. You can't come in this place thinking no other way than I got to go in there and I got to take from the man. You got to go in there as a conqueror. You know what I mean? No fear. Understand that, this is something that you wish for, hope for, prayed for, cried for. And it don't matter how you got here, you're here now. You know what I mean? And so, in order to be that man, you got to beat that man, which is a cliche, but nevertheless it's true. And you got to take it. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't Demetrius that Jaime was fighting, I'd be cheering for Jaime because I like him. And I like the way he fights. He fights hard every time, you know what I mean? I seen him in a few battles that, was nip and tuck, back and forth, and he would always find a way to pull it out. But nevertheless, I'm pro Ballard, and, and definitely, it's time to go in there and claim. If you think it's yours and you want it, you got to claim it.
Yes, sir. That's how it is in this in the battlefield that we call the boxing ring. Jaime Munguia, coming up, maybe 3-4 years ago, defensively wasn't as sound as maybe he is now. But I feel like a trainer of your caliber and a fighter of Demetrius' caliber, having come up with like some of those names you said, Plant, Spence, things like that, is that something that you look at and see enough holes where you guys see that you could be successful, or is that maybe not even something in the game plan? You're going to do your game and it's you're going to force your will on him.
I definitely think it's always something that you can find that you can exploit in your opponent. No man is invincible. And of course it's our job to find those little holes that we can exploit. As far as Jaime is concerned, he's a great little fighter. He's gritty, tough. Some of the fights that I seen him in, like I say, that was nip and tuck, he'd find a way to dig it out. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to find, and it's there. We're going to have to find that, that flaw and exploit it and use it to our advantage, and definitely is doable.
Man, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I want to talk about another fighter you used to work with, your work with here and there. Obviously, the last fight, Tank Davis had a great fight with Isaac Cruz. A lot of people were talking about, the rematch right away, just because it's kind of rare to see Tank in like a fight. Like normally he's kind of dominant, but credit to Isaac, he's a great fighter as well. But recently we've heard Rolly has been ordered by the WBA. What could you tell us? Anything next that you know what's going on, or which guy would you prefer?
Rolly was ordered by the WBA, and Rolly was the initial opponent. Isaac and his team, they stepped up and took it. I know he was supposed to have been on that card anyway, so it wasn't like he wasn't in shape, because he was training to fight. But it don't matter to me. I think that the stars was aligned that day for Isaac, not taking nothing away from him, but Tank did what he did, and you know what the situation was. I think had it not been for that, I definitely think we would have got the stoppage. I saw it, but nevertheless, it is what it is. And the thing I liked about the fact that adversity, that's one of the first times that he had been in a situation like that, and so he had to use his other skill, his main skill. He's a beautiful boxer. This is a multi-dimensional type of guy. I mean, he can fight all kinds of ways. And I was just glad he had to, that night, show another facet of his fight game. Be it Rolly, whomever at that weight class, I don't care who he fight. I got all faith and confidence in the world in what he can do. That's for sure.
Yeah, he keeps showing different facets of his game. We keep seeing it. Speaking of the hand, you guys told us afterwards that there was an issue before. Obviously, during the fight, he talked about even kind of hitting Isaac because he was the first fighter he'd ever faced that was kind of shorter than him. That kind of aggravated a little bit more. Any update on the hand? How's Tank feeling?
So far, so good. Everything is going as it needs to go right now. No issues. I know him, and pretty soon it's gonna be grind time again, and looking forward to getting back on that stage again. That's where he belongs.
Yeah, man, I can't wait either.
Yeah.
Fight I want to get your take on, man. Errol Spence, your Dennis Ugas, gonna made for April 16th. Great style matchup, I feel like. How does that fight play out in April 16th?
Well, of course, I'm going along pro Spence. Love Ugas to death. One of the best cats I ever met in this game. Real nice guy. And I don't think it's going to be a walkover, by no means, but I'm definitely thinking that Spence will pull it out. But I'm a huge fan of Ugas. Good man.
Yeah, it's a great fight with both great dudes, for sure.
Both great dudes.
Another one I want to get your take on, Charlo versus Castano, the rematch in L.A. at the Crypto Center. That's another great kind of style matchup. The first fight was very close. They got a draw out in San Antonio. How does that one go?
I didn't see the first one. I heard about it, but I didn't see the first one at all. Of course, we got history with the Charlos as well. With Austin Trout, and Ronnie Shields is one of the greatest trainers out there. And is that the one that trained with Ronnie?
Mel trains with Derrick James.
Derrick James is another one. I mean, look what the man's been doing with them guys, man. So, again, I'm going with Charlo. You know what I mean?
And last one I want to get your take on, man. Canelo is between two different things. The big Charlo, Germall is one of the options, it seems like, and then there's also the road going Bivol, Triple G. As a boxing fan, which route would you rather see Canelo take which fights would you rather see?
Benavidez. That's a fight I would like, but pound for pound, you gotta give Canelo the crown. Right. I'm a huge Canelo fan, man. The man can fight. You can't take it away from him. But I definitely think I would love to see him and Benavidez fight. Right. That's because of the styles. Mm-hmm. And I think their styles would make for a good fight.
How does that fight play out when it happens?
I mean, you got to factor in Benavidez, you got to factor in his punch volume, you got to factor in his height, his size. He's a big guy, man.
He is. Very fast for being that.
Yes, but then you match that up with the boxing IQ of Canelo Alvarez. One of the smartest fighters out there, calculating, you know, and right now, like I say, he's a man. But stylistically, I would love to see him and Benavidez fight.
It'd be great. Barry, thank you so much for your time, brother. It was great seeing you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.